What's going on, everyone? I hope you enjoyed your Valentine's Day weekend. We are back in the main studio for another edition of Hitting the Field. I'm your host, Edgar Rodriguez, and if you've been paying attention to the sports world recently, you'll know that the Winter Olympics in Milan has been taking up all of the attention, so that is what this episode is geared towards. We're going to talk USA Hockey. We're going to talk the Week 1 highlights and what to look ahead in Week 2. All of that and more up next. Hitting the Field starts right now.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back. Okay, always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
All right, everyone, thanks for joining us as we get the show on the road. To my left-hand side, Francisco Vera and Joe Geiger here to talk U.S. Ice Hockey. Guys, a big Week 2 is coming up. How excited are we?
You know, Team USA Hockey is so exciting, but I gotta address something real quick.
Oh, please do.
You know, Joe and I have our differences, right? Lightning fan, Panthers fan, but come Winter Olympics, we put that aside and we all just root for Team USA, who, by the way, is looking really good so far.
And you put on the red, white, and blue with pride. I love that. I love that. You guys should continue that throughout the NHL season as well.
Absolutely not.
No.
Okay, well, we're friendly here on Hitting the Field, so let's put our differences aside. Let's keep it that way as we talk U.S. Ice Hockey and how they have done so far. Joe Geiger, I'm going to start with you. 3 from 3. You can't ask for more from this team so far.
Well, honestly, it's just happy to have best-on-best hockey back in the Olympics. First time since 2014 where NHL players are playing for their countries. And look at the results for Team USA, 5-1, 6-3, and 5-1 again. They had sluggish starts in those first 2 games. They had 3 goals called back against Latvia and 1 against Germany. But then once the depth started to come around, they had 10 different goal scorers, and then obviously outscoring opponents 16-5. It's what more could you ask for?
Francisco, 10 different goal scorers. I'm going to piggyback on that because, I mean, no other country really has this amount of depth, and the U.S. are using it to their advantage.
Yeah. You know, I saw this graphic on the Latvia game that showed that Team USA had about 10,000 or over 10,000 combined NHL games.
Wow.
And that's pretty much all you need for experience. But, you know, if we go to the Latvia game specifically, they started slow. You know, and that's something that you have to kind of rationalize because you have a star-studded team, and it's just a matter of will these guys put their egos aside and play as a collective rather than just for themselves.
Correct, and that is what's going to get them over the line eventually, right, Joe, if they are to win gold. Who has stood out to you in the red, white, and blue so far?
Honestly, I hate to say it, but the Tkachuk brothers.
Yeah.
They've been absolutely, they're both on the same line. They're scoring goals. They're doing their thing. They're being physical. They've been great. There's not much I can say.
Yeah. Francisco, who stood out to you?
I got to agree with Joe.
Oh, yeah,
the Tkachuk brothers.
Putting your differences aside.
Tkachuk brothers playing what they do best. Tkachuk hockey, getting physical, gritty, and just attacking the way that they always do.
Yeah, and so we talk about the 3 wins so far. We talk about how they get a bye in the first knockout round. Joe, what has been the most impressive victory so far for you?
For the U.S.?
Yeah.
I think just the first game to get them going. I mean, obviously they were off to a slow start, as Francisco said. It's hard to play with an entire new team when you've been playing in the NHL all year. But for them to start slow, have the goals called back, but then still be able to comfortably win that game, I think it was good looks for the United States.
Any standout performance from you apart from the Latvia game? Kind of go for a different answer this time, please.
Honestly, the Germany game. The Germany game. I feel like in terms of like what team gave them the most challenge, it was definitely Denmark.
Yeah.
And they still obviously beat them by 3. But I feel like Germany was a game that they just looked incredible.
We look at this list of names now, boys. I mean, again, it's just depth on depth on depth. You just have a whole host of talent to call on. Joe Geiger, who stands out to you as like a low-key, under-the-radar player who might come up big in the knockout stage?
I think that guy's going to be Jake Gensel. He's a Tampa Bay Lightning guy, so I've seen him a lot of play. This guy is just a consistent goal scorer for the Lightning, and he came up big for the United States last year in the Four Nations face-off. He had 2 goals in the game that they won against Canada to send them into the semifinal round. He's going to be a guy, he had 1 goal against Denmark. he's going to be a guy for the United States to get some clutch goals, I think, down the stretch.
Francisco, same question for you. I mean, who are we not paying attention to who should be getting talked about?
You know, I was going to say Matthew Tkachuk, but he's the alternate captain, so I think I'm just going to agree with what
Sure.
Joe has been saying, and I'm going to go with Jake Gensel as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's look ahead now, okay, as we start to wrap up this segment. U.S., get the bye, but who should we be paying attention to the most when it comes to the biggest threat for the knockout stages, Joe?
Well, I mean, obviously the biggest threat is Canada. I think that's the only team that I can say they're for sure better or as good as Team USA on paper. They beat us in the Four Nations, last year. It was a great game, but we beat them in the qualifying round.
Yeah.
Obviously, we all want to see USA Canada, but I think that the quarterfinal game, if we draw Sweden's kind of been struggling in this first preliminary round. If we draw them, I think that could be a very tough quarterfinal game for the United States. So I would watch out for that one, and hopefully we win and eventually get the USA-Canada game that everybody wants.
Sweden, Latvia in the qualifying round, of course. I mean, Canada is, of course, the main other big dog. It's still in the tournament. I mean, and we talk about U.S.-Canada would be the final.
Yep.
If they both advance as we expect. I mean, that game will break records in terms of attendance, in terms of viewership, I feel like. Because it's two powerhouses, Francisco.
It's obviously two hockey powerhouses, and I think it's the two favorites to win the gold medal, because I'm pretty sure, from what I've seen, like no other team would even be a challenge for these two.
And we've seen that. I mean, you see the goal differential in this one, and look at Canada's. I think they scored, 10 goals against Italy or France it was yesterday, so it's going to be a fun one if those two do collide.
So I was going to ask you because, Canada is waiting for Czechia or Denmark, right? And then it would be Finland against Switzerland or Italy, so they would play the winner of that. So you're saying they have a pretty smooth ride to the final, if that's the case?
I mean, Finland's obviously a good team. I think Finland took Canada to overtime in the Four Nations last year.
Right. There you go.
But, you never know. Obviously, I think that will end up happening. I wouldn't say an easy ride, but definitely an easier ride than what I think the USA will get.
How about you, Francisco? Do you see a U.S.-Canada final? Is that what we should be expecting?
I honestly think that it is a given. However, the teams that played in the Four Nations last year, I mean, I'm pretty sure they all have a chance to contend. However, it's most definitely, I can almost guarantee it, it's going to be U.S. and Canada for the gold medal. We've
talked enough about the men's side. Let's give a word for the women's side. Of course, they were playing earlier today, a huge game. What'd you see from that impressive result again, Joe?
They've been dominant all tournament long. I mean, every game. I don't even know how. I think they might have given up less than 3 goals.
Jeez.
I mean, they dominated great teams in Sweden. They dominated Canada. It's their gold medal to win for the women's team, and I think they're going to do it again.
So what I'm hearing then is 2 gold medals for the U.S., Francisco?
It's looking like a clean sweep in hockey.
Oh, my goodness.
It's looking like a clean
well,
sweep
that
in
would be
hockey.
great to see. Do you expect that from the women's side as well? What has impressed you so far?
I mean, like Joe said, they've been dominating.
Yeah.
And it's their gold medal to lose at this point. So it's just a matter
no
of time.
one's been able to compete with our women's team. It's honestly shocking. Even Canada, who you expect to. I mean, we beat them, I think, 5-0, 5-1. It was bad. It was a bloodbath.
I mean, it is looking good in Milan. Once again, I mean, ice hockey always delivering, right?
Hockey.
Just a final word for you guys. I mean, what are we most excited for, in these knockout rounds for the U.S.? Joe Geiger, real quick.
For the U.S., just to continue the best-on-best play. I mean, we haven't seen it in over a decade. It's so exciting to see Olympic players back in these, or NHL players back in the Olympics, and obviously I want to see USA Canada. It was so awesome last year. 3 fights in the first minute.
Man.
I just want to see it again. Obviously, no fighting in the Olympics, but with a gold medal on the line, it would be so awesome.
Still Olympics, you got to keep it classy.
Yeah.
You got to keep it classy, Francisco. It's almost like watching an all-star team just be assembled, right at the biggest stage.
Yeah. Real quick, this just reminds me of basketball. When Team USA assembles their greatest players in hopes to winning a world medal, what do you not love about that?
Exactly. Well, fingers crossed. At least here on Hitting the Field, we expect the U.S. to clean sweep in ice hockey. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Don't go anywhere, though, because we will be recapping Week 1 next. The quick interruption. We'll be right back for your show. For now, let me give you a quick rundown of what the Hitting the Field Network has planned for you. My name is Edgar Rodriguez, and I'm the host of Hitting the Field Season 22, live streaming every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. There, you'll find me and our expert guests talking about everything in the wide world of sports. On Tuesday, get ready because it's Season 10 of Nighttime. Hosted by Andrew Gregg and Joe Geiger, Nighttime keeps you up to date on everything happening in the world of college sports and UCF athletics. Moving on to Wednesday, we have Season 8 of The Combine, hosted by our very own Kathleen Moore. This podcast takes a deep and technical dive into everything NFL, and you won't want to miss that. On Thursday, we go live with Bets, where our Bets boys, Ben Huber, Augie Aronson, and Scott Harris, will give their expert opinion that might just make you some money. On Friday, Season 4 of Girls Got Game takes over with only the hottest topics in women's sports, hosted by none other than Katie Sue Christensen and Mia Flores. And to round out the week, Season 3 of HTFC comes on Saturday, hosted by Octavius Lawrence and Santiago Molina. Soccer never stops, and HTFC will be your stop for everything in the world of football. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, where you can find non-stop additional content, as well as stay updated on all HTFN news. Lastly, leave a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the Hitting the Field Network on YouTube. That's all I got. I'm Edgar Rodriguez signing off. Enjoy the rest of your show. Welcome back into Hitting the Field. We've talked enough hockey. Now we get to pay attention to some of the other sports you might not, be as involved in. So here we go. Week 1 recap with Austin Lamanna, Noah Green. Guys, the Olympics have delivered as always, right, Austin?
Oh yeah, 1000%. First of all, Edgar, great to be on the show. You know,
Yes.
I think this is the first time you and I have been on
Fantastic.
together.
Yes, sir.
I'm very excited. So, but yeah, let's talk about it. I'm going to start
Go
off with
straight
Lindsey.
in. Go
I'm
straight
going to start
in.
off with Lindsey Vonn. All right, let's talk about this real quick.
We have to start there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. This is a star-studded athlete, rock star, all the 9 yards. I'm not going to lie, easily. She started skating when she was 7 years old.
Right.
I mean, come on, that is amazing right there. She started competing internationally at age 9. Now, listen, I don't know about you guys. At age 9, I wasn't doing anything like that.
You weren't skiing?
No, I was not,
No?
unfortunately. I was playing football in the backyard. That was about it for me.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that was about it. And she made her World Cup debut in 2000. I
Okay.
mean, so turn of the century, she made her World Cup debut. Now we're in 2026 for context. Keep that in mind, guys. 2026. So she's been doing this for 26 years now. And not to mention as well, she won her first World Cup, which for context, anyone who does not know, it might sound a little confusing. The World Cup, you think soccer. So with skating and all that, in the Olympics, they usually refer to it as a World Cup as well,
Yes,
for anyone who
correct.
doesn't know.
Yeah.
Because I did not know that when I was doing my research. I was like, wait, what? But yeah, she won her first World Cup when she was 19 years old in 2004. So she had only been going for 10 years. And boom, won that title just like that. And that's truly amazing right there. And not to mention too, what is it? She's also had many injuries as well. She
Yes.
is a rock star for the last 26 years, almost 30 years now. But she's also had a lot of injuries. Something I want to talk about as well. I believe it was in 2006. She literally, I believe, had a bruised back, and I believe bruised. I'm trying to remember what was it. Yeah, she bruised her back for sure, and she was airlifted to the hospital. And literally, they thought she broke her back. They
Wow.
thought it was done, and she came back 2 days later. Literally 2 days later, 48 hours later. Now listen, guys, I don't know about y'all. If I was airlifted to the hospital, I would not be returning 48 hours later.
Well, I am going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
Because let's fast forward to this year. Noah, she ruptured her ACL, guys. Ruptured
Absolutely
ACL,
tragic
one of
injury.
the most brutal injuries you can sustain in any sport, especially one as dangerous as the one that Lindsey Vonn competes in, Noah. So, ruptured ACL, and then she decides to compete in the Olympics in Milan. Of course, didn't turn out the way she wanted it to. But again, it's just a show of just superhuman qualities
Yes,
almost.
sir. 5 inches too tight on the turn, hooks her right arm and blows out her leg again. She's then, carried out and then has to go to the hospital again. 41 years old, second most wins out of anybody in that skiing for women's. And as humans, the injury part of it, that injury side, it's so hard to just.
Not to mention it was the same leg.
Same leg,
Yeah.
Yes.
same leg, and she went into it knowing the risk. Obviously, we all know the risk, but you
She
have
originally
to
retired because of the risk back in
Correct.
2019.
correct and came back,
Yeah.
right? And we saw it again, perseverance to just an insane amount.
1000%.
It
She
brings up
knew the risk going in, Noah.
Yes.
Okay, still competed. I mean, And you have to understand it, right? Probably her last chance at an Olympic Games. You can't take that away from her, can you?
It brings up the question, how much responsibility do athletes have in protecting themselves, and how much responsibility does the administration, the people running the Olympics, have in protecting Olympic athletes? In my opinion, she's an adult. She gets to make her own decisions.
Correct.
She knows the risks. She's blown out her leg. She's blown out her back, and she's still she still accomplished so much in her career.
Yes.
Now, there was another story on her Instagram post, I think. Her father no longer wants her competing. They completely left the Olympics now. But she's grown. She gets to make those decisions for herself, and I don't think that, there should be a lot of oversight telling her that, oh, you can't compete because you've had too many injuries. Now, I think athletes should absolutely be knowledgeable with the situation and with their injuries, and know the risks going into it. But
I would argue she knows the risks, though. I mean, you look at some of the other injuries she's had. She had a concussion in 2011. I believe it was a broken left humerus. It might have been the right. I could be wrong.
Yep.
Broken pinky, and the list goes on and on and on. And going back to the blown out back, she literally went back 48 hours later after being airlifted from the hospital. So she didn't even spent 2 nights in the hospital, and she was back at it. And I don't really think it's the Olympics or her own company or whatever that's pushing that. I think it's truly, genuinely her that's pushing it.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, you want to savor every moment, right, that you get to compete at the highest level. Let's quickly move on, because we can talk about Lindsey Vonn all day long.
Oh, 1,000%.
We can talk about Lindsey Vonn all day.
We can talk about just her injuries for 45 minutes, yeah.
But we have other headlines to get to. Let's talk Jordan Stolz and speed skating. Austin, I want to go to you on this one.
Oh, yes.
Breaking records in Milan. Unbelievable stuff.
Oh, 1,000%. And I think Jordan Stolz is an extremely amazing speed skater, without a shadow of a doubt. If I'm not mistaken, Jordan Stolz is much more newer, in my opinion.
Sure.
Born in 2004, so only a year older than me, which makes me feel a little jealous, I'm not going to lie. But Jordan, he's built for sprinting, which is great, but he can also do the distance at the same time, which most people can't do, in my personal opinion there. Noah, do you agree with me on that?
Yes, absolutely. He holds the Olympic record for the 1,000 meter with a time of 1 minute 6 seconds, .28. So he is an absolute young stud, one of the youngest to ever do it. And he's on our team, Team USA.
Team USA.
We finally get somebody to, represent our team that's like elite.
Bringing home the gold.
Not to mention 2022, the Olympics, even just being at 18 years old while not winning any medals, still made a great impression on everybody to the point where he was able to come back and keep going. Like 2023 with his breakout year and everything like that.
100%. We've seen him, like you guys said, 500 meters, 1,000 meters. He has it all under his belt. And to break the record, he's what, 22?
Yeah.
I mean, this is just the start of his career. Imagine what his ceiling is.
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, you look at Lindsey Vonn, and you look at Lindsey Vonn's ceiling. I mean, she is literally almost like the Superman of her respective sport.
Completely.
And I truly think Jordan can keep going at that. I truly do feel like. And granted, I believe Jordan still has 2 more competitions left with the 1,500.
Yes.
And what's the other one again, Noah? What's the other competition?
I think it's a 1,500 and a 1,000 meter.
Correct.
1,000 meter, yes.
That's still to come. So we're not done watching Jordan Stolz in
Which
Milan
I'm really excited for that.
100%.
Jordan is going up against, I believe, China, Beijing, and China, Beijing, and the other one I was really interested about was, I think, Finn. I don't know if you know Finn from Germany.
Okay.
The records they've been doing. I'm not even going to try pronouncing the last name. I'm not even going to try it.
Don't worry.
But Finn from Germany, I think, is really interesting because Finn actually broke Jordan's 1,500 and actually beat him record-wise on that, technically. And so I'm really excited to see Jordan and Finn and how that's going to go this year. And but out of curiosity, what are you guys most excited about with Jordan of those 2 competitions?
I mean, that's going to be exciting to see if he can up himself, right? Maybe break his own record. We've seen it happen.
Hopefully not break his back.
Not break his back.
He's got the 2 golds. If he wins this 1,500 meter coming up, he could get that 3rd gold medal, and that will be another record for him. So absolute stud.
Let's move on from Jordan Stolz and talk Benjamin Carl in snowboard. Now, we talk about breaking records as a young athlete.
Now we're
Benjamin
going
Carl
old.
is the complete opposite of the spectrum. Oldest individual gold medalist in Winter Olympic history at 40 years old. I mean, we talk about Lindsey Vonn and her longevity, Austin.
Yeah.
Benjamin Carl is right in that
Benjamin
same
Carl's not
stratosphere.
far away.
Correct.
Not far away at all. And I just find it very interesting with Benjamin Carl. He's currently a 5-time world champion, for context, for those who don't know.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is just amazing right there in itself. He won his first gold championship medal back in 2011. So for context, most of us were in kindergarten or first grade during that time period.
I was in first grade.
Yeah, I think I was in
Unbelievable.
kindergarten, I believe. But yeah, that's just truly amazing right there. Not to mention earning 2 silver medals back in Spain in 2017. That is truly just amazing right there in and of itself. And I mean, I could go on and on about these accolades because there is just so many, just like Lindsey Vonn and Jordan.
Yeah.
But he has admitted in interviews it's taken a toll on him. I mean, he has admitted that. So he has talked about this season. I don't know if you guys have heard or not.
Yep.
Yes.
But him wanting to retire after this season. And I generally feel like he will do that. But at the same time, Benjamin is going out on a win.
That's what I'm saying. If you go out like this, I mean, there's not much to complain for, Noah. I mean, that's exactly how you want to end your career if this is the end.
Absolutely. The biggest thing with Benjamin Carl is his comeback story. He won bronze in 2010, won silver in 2014. He does not medal in 2018. And there's a lot of questions surrounding him. Okay, he's in his 30s. Can he still keep up? Can he still keep up with the young guys? And he wins gold in 2022 in Beijing.
And then we go to, can he do it in his 40s? And he does it in his 40s.
He does it in his 40s, rips off the shirt in the cold
yes, I
in
saw
Milan.
that.
A legendary moment for Carl. Okay, we have more to get to, guys,
Oh,
okay?
1000%,
Because so much has
1000%.
happened in the first week in Milan Cortina. Ilya Malinin, okay?
The quad god.
The quad god. He never makes mistakes. You never see him make even a slight error.
Yeah.
This year, finishing 8th, most recently in his most recent competition. I mean, Austin, this is one of the biggest surprises, I think, in
1000%.
not just this year, but recent Olympic history, given his record.
1000%. I couldn't agree with that. Couldn't agree with you more on that. Because I wouldn't say it's not a standout moment, but it's a disappointing moment, if you will.
Right, for the bad reasons, unfortunately, but
unfortunately.
still, yeah.
I would say it's very disappointing because, I mean, you think about it. I mean, in the USA, they just beat Japan with him. They literally just beat Japan. You know, go
Correct.
USA. They won just because of that. And, I mean, he was entering this as literally a true rock star. And then he ultimately placed 8th,
Yeah.
which, I mean, it's just very disappointing. But, I mean, he is supposed to be coming back. I believe in the March, he's competing again, I believe,
Yeah,
in
he will be
Spain,
back. He
right?
will be back. Absolutely. He will be back. Obviously, look, it's an 8th place, no, but not what we expected, not what he had envisioned. However, I mean, do you give him a slight pass here? I mean, he has such an impressive record.
He's literally the quad god.
Correct.
Anything that he does, I mean, I expect him to perform very well.
Oh, yeah. And I stand corrected. It was Prague. It was Prague, not
Prague.
Spain. Stand
Okay.
corrected
Hey,
there.
still Europe. It's close
Yeah,
enough.
it's close enough.
Here are 2 others I wanted to bring up, guys, okay? Lucas Pinedo, okay? Born in Norway, competing for Brazil, okay? He switched nationalities, right, as a youngster in the Olympics, now competing for Brazil. Felt suppressed representing Norway. Now just won gold recently in skiing. I mean, one of the stories that you never really see in Olympics, not really in sports. I mean, yes, you see athletes switching nationalities, switching the countries they represent. But Lucas Ribeiro, I mean, proving his point, winning gold
Yeah.
with his mother's nationality, of course, born in Norway, switching to Brazil. What are your initial thoughts on that one?
I mean, truly, the thing I love about the Olympics, because I'm a very optimistic kind of guy, I just love the underdog story.
Yeah.
And with Lucas, in my personal opinion, I don't know how you guys feel on this, but it felt very much like an underdog story.
100%.
And so seeing that, that's something I love about the Olympics, especially when you hear about the underdogs and seeing all of Lucas's strengths,
Yes.
struggles in life, and everything. And it's just, I find it's really fascinating and just really just enlightening, and it puts a smile on my face. Noah, what about you? What's your thoughts?
Absolutely, I completely agree. He, chose the team that he wanted to represent.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
he made that decision. His mom also made that decision for herself, and that's just kind of going back to your point, Austin. Just like a great point about the Olympics. Really showing your true self and showing oh, you might have started in this nationality, but you can go represent the country. And I think that
Yeah.
they kind of condescended him in his previous country in Brazil. So, that's why he's representing Norway.
And that's what the Olympics is all about, truly being yourself and going for the gold, going for the silver, and giving it your all, I feel like.
Yeah, 100%. Again, representing Norway first, now switching to Brazil, winning gold. Unbelievable story from Milan. One more for you, okay? French biathlon athlete Julia Simon, okay, has been involved in lots of controversy recently because she was accused of spending nearly $5,000 of her teammates' money and the team physiotherapist's money. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the story. It's just crazy, okay? It's crazy just saying it, okay? Was accused of that, right? Got banned for 6 months. However, 5 months of that suspension was lifted. Half of the fine imposed on her was lifted for her to essentially compete in Milan, okay? Winning gold in biathlon. Okay, so this controversy and the murky waters surrounding her before the tournament, she switched it into a gold medal.
Yeah, I
Austin.
mean, that I feel like I didn't know the full context of the story. I heard of it, but I didn't know all the details until just now. But I mean, when you're spending $5,000 of your team's money, I mean, come on, I feel bad borrowing $5 from someone.
Right.
Real quick. I feel bad about that.
Add a couple zeros to the end of
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And $5,000 from your team, because in my opinion, when it comes to any sport, football, basketball, soccer, whatever the case may be, when it comes to succeeding, it's not just about talent and skill. Those are the big two, but for me, the big three is talent, skill, and chemistry.
Yes.
And you're stealing $5,000 from your team. I'm sorry, I don't feel like your team's gonna love you after that. I'm sorry, I don't see that chemistry being there. And granted, she obviously had a gold medal at the end, but still, that does not feel very. I don't get a smile on my face from that. I'm kind of like, okay, you should be out of here.
It kind of takes the spark away a little bit from it. An Olympic medal should be, something you're proud of, something you're prideful of.
A noble effort.
Correct. How about you, Noah? Just quickly on that story.
Yes, I mean, she was caught, in a lie, sort of, saying that, I didn't know that I used that $5,000, and they had to look at her phone, and she was like,
Bizarre story.
I don't.
Mention from the therapist as well.
I don't.
Bizarre
I don't
story.
know how that showed up.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
don't. That answer didn't help.
She's still winning gold medals, and she's still a really good athlete, and athletes make mistakes.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us
Absolutely.
on segment 2. We have one more to look forward to because week 2 is only just getting started, so stay tuned for that.
You never got me anything for my birthday.
I don't even know what that is. I thought birthdays were every 100 years like the Kids' Choice Awards.
What?
Finally, he's here, man. He's always late.
Who?
Marcus?
You good? I'd give them one of these and one of these.
Behind every on-screen moment is a whole team of engineers and technologists.
And you can be a part of such a team through SMPTE at UCF. You'll join a team of students just like you who are ready to innovate the future of TV and film.
With SMPTE at UCF, you'll be able to connect with local industry pros, learn about new technology in the industry, as well as get backstage experience that really matters. Join SMPTE for a backstage pass to all of this.
We meet every last Monday of the month for our general body meetings. There we discuss how new technology is being used to create new media, and we get to highlight local professionals and their specialties.
On top of that, we have some site visits planned, so tune into our social media to be notified of when those will happen.
So if you're ready to pull back the curtain and find out what really happens behind the scenes, join SMPTE at UCF.
One more segment as promised, and a familiar face now to my left-hand side. Nick Cohen is back in the main stage.
Yes.
How does it feel, man?
Feels exciting.
Normal?
Happy to be back.
Pretty
Yeah,
normal,
pretty normal.
nonchalant.
Happy to see you doing this,
Yes,
doing great so far.
too kind,
So thanks
too
for
kind.
having me back, and excited to be here with Noah.
Filling big shoes from Nick Cohen.
Oh.
Filling big shoes. But look,
I don't have big feet.
let's put that aside, okay? Let's put that aside. We'll talk more off camera about that.
Okay.
Week 2 of the Olympics is what we're talking about, okay? And we have a new sport that you want to
We
talk about,
do,
Nick Cohen. Now,
yes.
before you get into it, of course, 2028, we'll see new sports in LA for the Summer Olympics. However, we get to see a new sport in week 2 in Milan Cortina. Tell us more.
Yeah, if I told you we are now seeing skimo in the Olympics, would you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Probably not. But that stands for ski mountaineering. Now, it's a very interesting concept, I guess we could say,
Yeah.
because you start off by skiing uphill. How do you ski uphill? You don't. You're basically climbing, except you have the skis still on your feet. You're skiing uphill. And then there's a spot there's like a checkpoint basically where then you're taking the skis off, putting them on your backpack, continuing to hike up more, and then just to ski back down. It seems pretty counterproductive. However, it's a huge cardiovascular exercise, I guess, event, because you have to have the power to hike up the hills in the extreme altitude. Granted, they're trained for that altitude, but still, they're trained to ski downhill, not hike uphill with skis on. So it's very difficult. You have to have the strength to do that, and then obviously still the agility to ski downhill. And it's a timed thing, obviously. The fastest person to do, it's basically like a triathlon in a sense. You know, the fastest person to do this wins. So I'm very excited to see it. It's going to be men's, women's, and then there is a relay. That's this week.
Week 2 of the Olympics. Ski-mo, Noah Green. I mean, what comes up must come down, right? That's what they say.
Yes.
Right,
speed skating, I've got Jordan Schultz again. I mean, main Olympian for the USA. He's going to be racing the 1500 shot for his 3rd gold medal. That's going to be a record. I actually have the split times that he's going to need to get that 1500. It's the race for the 1500 is going to be 3 3.75 laps. The opening 300 he's going to need 23.2 to 23.4 seconds. The second lap he's going to need 25.5 to 25.7. The third lap he's going to need 26.0 to 26.2. And the final 400 he's going to need to finish under 28 seconds to clinch that 1500 record and possibly win the race. And I think his biggest challenger is probably going to be
well, and I think he could do it.
Keldon Lewis. I think his name, I don't know really how to pronounce it. But Keldon Lewis, some Dutch name. 3 golds in long distance, 1,000-meter skier, 1,500-meter skier. That's going to be Schultz's biggest. Some of these names are really hard to pronounce.
No, they're fun.
Different countries. One of the most, successful long-distance, mid-distance skiers, so that's going to be his biggest challenge of this upcoming meet.
Cohen, you already mentioned it. Look, he's already breaking records in Milan. I mean, he's just going to keep going up.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, those splits seem very difficult, and they are. I mean, it's not just they seem, but I think he could do it. It's Jordan Stolz. I think he can do it.
We have seen it time and time again from him, and again, just a young athlete still starting his career, already reaching the pinnacle, the highest level at the Winter Olympics. Let's move on to snowboarding, okay? And Scotty James, as a top qualifier and the favorite to win gold, okay? Starting racing at 15, guys, okay? Becoming one of the youngest Australians to compete at the Olympics. Championships in 2015, 2017, won silver in 22, and now gets the chance to compete against snowboarding. Noah Green, what do you think?
So actually, I had this down. I had him as a favorite to win this upcoming race to win gold. But Yoto Tsuka ultimately finished with gold, and James ended up getting silver. He's still one of the most decorated Australian snowboarders of all time. 3 different, winter cycles with wins, and he failed to win a difficult trick, which cost him about 1.5 points. Yoto getting 95 points, and Scotty James getting 93.5. So very close race, and unable to really cement that legacy with the gold medal, which he has not been able to attain, but he's still been a very successful snowboarder.
Still going for it, still up for grabs, right, in week 2. We talk about new sports, we talk about all these, exciting events still to come. One of those, Noah, we're going to stick with you for curling, okay? Women's curling up next, also in week 2. Some big matches. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I'll just chime in really quick. I don't know what's happening this year, but it seems like curling is like the big sport.
The main thing
That's
so
all
far,
I'm seeing on social media is about curling, and it's so interesting to watch because you have the person pushing the puck. What would you call it?
The rock. I think it's the rock.
Right. Yes. You have them pushing it out, and then the other members of the team it looks like they're mopping basically the ice, and that is guiding the rock to the target. And the harder you push, the more aggressively you are trying to stop the rock. Once you're getting closer to the target. It's a very interesting sport to watch.
It's almost like creating a path for the rock, right, to hit. I'll call it the bullseye. I don't know if that's the correct term for it, but
very interesting
I mean, it makes sense, right? It's unbelievable, and you're right. I mean, it's one of the ones that has gained most attraction, I feel like, in Milan so far, and big matches, like you said, coming up in week 2, of course. Now, I wanted to talk about the medal board so far in the Olympics, okay? The U.S. sitting in 4th at the moment, okay? Norway leading the way. Of course, we've talked about hockey, right? The U.S. are favorites for that, also other events as well. Do you see the U.S. maybe overtaking Norway at the end of the day?
Ooh, I mean, I'd love to be all, USA on this.
Red, white, and blue,
but I mean,
baby,
we
let's
are
go.
going from, we're talking about going from fourth
True.
to first place. Like, that's quite the jump. If you're saying, are they going to get, onto the podium? Yes, I do think. I think we will get at bare minimum third because of hockey.
I think second. Our hockey team our men's hockey team at least has been really, really solid this season.
I'd agree. But first is a little rich, Edgar. I don't know.
I mean, hey, we've been optimistic all show long. I don't want that to die now.
I mean, to be fair, things that have never happened have happened this Olympics.
Exactly.
Australia, not necessarily Scotty James. Australia won their first ever gold in a Winter Olympics this year. So we could see it. We'll just have to see.
We were talking about Lucas Ribeiro, of course, winning Brazil's first gold in the Olympics as well. Haiti getting their first winter medal as well. I mean, this Olympics has just been throwing up surprises left, right, and center, Noah.
Absolutely. Obviously, again, going back to Jordan Schultz, I really think that, if America is going to have a chance to go second or third, it's going to be because he wins that 1,500 meter.
That's very fair.
That's another gold medal that the U.S. absolutely has to get.
Yeah,
the U.S. doesn't get that gold medal, they're going to be probably sitting at third or fourth.
It'll be disappointing. It'll be disappointing. Again, we talk about hockey, of course, being the favorite for that as well. Again, I mean, if they don't get it, it will be disappointing. Yeah. We talk about week 2 a lot, but I'm just so curious to know your thoughts on Lindsey Vonn, guys. I mean, such a big story. I think the biggest story so far. Of course, for all the wrong reasons, yes, because it didn't pan out the way we wanted it to. But Nick, I wanted to know what you thought of that.
It's really sad when I saw it happen. I mean, it kind of just broke my heart. It does. When they were doing the promotions for the Olympics, when NBC was doing that, you would see all of the big athletes, Ilya Malinin, Chloe Kim, and then you would see Lindsey Vonn and Michaela Schifrin, who I was going to talk about in a minute. And then for that to just happen to Lindsey, that's
it's a tough one. It's a tough one to watch. It's a tough one. You feel for her, after such a successful career.
Absolutely. Had she been able to stay and possibly win that match, she would have been, the oldest to win that medal, and it's just heartbreaking situation. At 41 years old, she's the second most decorated skier of all time, and it's just absolutely heartbreaking situation. So many injuries, and it really, again, raises that question. I think I brought this up in segment 2, where how much of the decision should the athlete have to not continue with the sport, and how much decision should the doctors and she's a grown woman. I think she is able to really make that decision for herself. And again, she's been competing ever since she was a little girl. These Olympic athletes, they spend all their life. They do so much training. I mean, if I tried to ski, you would not want to see.
Well, we saw it. Sorry to cut you off, Noah. We saw it in the lower third. I mean, Sean is not buying into ski mode, Nick, so let's not expect anything from him.
Sean, you haven't even seen it happen yet.
Give it a chance.
Come on.
Give it a chance.
Maybe in 2030 you can say that, okay, I wasn't a big fan in 2026.
Right.
You have to watch it
Give
first.
it a chance,
what if it's like the
please.
most entertaining thing
ever? And it might just be, given your description of it.
Yeah,
you have one more thing you want to bring up
there,
Nick?
I was just going to say, Michaela Schifrin, she has had a, rough start to the Olympics thus far. However, she's still competing on Wednesday. This week 2, she has another chance for a medal. I think it's potentially a long shot, but I think it's pretty cool that she has a chance for redemption still to come in this Olympics.
And chances are, Noah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, probably a bronze or silver, but if she really pushes hard in that race, she can potentially get gold.
The slalom is her best event.
Expertise,
as well.
yes.
So fingers crossed
it's
for her.
All set
and that would
up
just
for
help
her.
USA go to number 1.
Yeah.
So we'll
and just a quick word before we end up. Just the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, Nick, and summarize it in a sentence what it means to you. Putting you on the spot a little bit.
Yeah, really. It is, I mean, it's electric. This is maybe not one sentence, but it's a little less electric than the Summer Olympics for me. I just have more nostalgia with the Summer Olympics.
And give it 2 years, it'll come back to LA, it'll come back to the States.
Yes, and also potentially because, growing up in South Florida, I didn't really have winter sports. However, it's still really fun to watch. Hockey, figure skating, and curling is very exciting.
Our new favorite sport on hitting the field.
So it's more than one sentence, but it's just such a fun time. It only happens every 4 years.
Closing thoughts from you, Noah.
Confounding. I mean, my 2 biggest stories, I'll repeat it again, Vonn and Schultz. I think that those are just, 2 incredible stories with Vonn's injury, overcoming past injuries to, be the second best, most decorated woman skier of all time.
Nothing like it.
Schultz, if we want to win gold, if we want to get gold, with our good hockey team and, other athletes having success, he's going to be the key to that.
Well, that wraps us up, guys. The Winter Olympics special has come to an end. Again, you know your homework this week. Watch the Winter Olympics on NBC and Peacock, of course. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. From everyone in production, everyone on the show today, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the Olympics. See you back here next week.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap.